Hi guys, this is Mrs. Vastelica with your first synthesis writing PowerPoint screencast to prepare you for the AP Synthesis essay. I'm recording this on Thursday, April 30th, the same day I delivered it in class. Let's start by talking about synthesis prompts. The first thing you're going to want to do when looking at a synthesis prompt is identify the topic that's usually in the first part, the first section of the prompt. They're going to break down a topic for you, often giving both sides of an argument or both sides of the topic. The first thing you want to do in looking at that topic is think, what do you know about this? And start to identify your own kind of little mini claim for that topic. Next, identify the prompt in the second part of the synthesis. That prompt is what they're telling you to write in the essay. It's a lot like the argument essay in that they're going to tell you in a well-written essay, blah, 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 blah. That in a well-written essay is your clue, it's your key that there's going to be the clear directions following. So make sure that you pay close attention to the prompt, the actual directions that they're giving you. Then I want you to begin brainstorming, remember you got to shower before you go on your hot date, a position in response to the prompt. So I want you to take a position, even if it's a topic you may not have a lot of familiarity with. I want you to start to develop a position because you're going to need that in mind as you look at the sources for the synthesis essay. Now they're going to give you 6 to 7 sources, and they're going to give you a separate 15 minutes before the essay writing time to read those sources. I'm going to recommend that you don't read all those sources in detail. Instead, I want you to scan them. Now let me talk to you about scanning for a second. Scanning is not the same as skimming. Scanning is like skimming with a purpose. So I want you to have your potential claim in mind, what you think about the topic. I want you to have that in mind before you actually read the sources in detail. And with that possible claim in mind, I want you to skim those sources to see which ones are going to support your claim or refute your claim. Then I want you to select at least 3 sources to read in detail. Those 3 sources should support your claim or provide a good counterargument to your claim. And of course, because it's AP, I want you to annotate those sources. Look for the purpose of the source. That's going to be the main idea. You're going to know how to use it in your claim if you know the main idea. And important supporting details, evidence that you can use in your argument. Now, because the synthesis essay is basically an argument essay, you need to brainstorm much like you would brainstorm for the argument essay. After reading your sources in detail, develop a clear claim. This is where your claim is really going to come into its own. It's where you're going to develop your position that's now going to be a really informed position. By that I mean it's not just a position based on what you happen to know about the topic. It's a position based on having done some research. And in this way, I think the synthesis essay is like the argument essay, but actually a little bit easier. Whereas in the argument essay, you have to use evidence from your own experience or your own readings, and you have to kind of dredge it up from your memory. In the synthesis essay, you're actually supporting your claim with 2 to 3 pieces of evidence from the sources. So it's not like the argument essay where you have to maybe stretch sometimes, maybe fudge some examples to get details. You're getting details from the sources. I also want you to use information from the sources to suggest a counter-argument and to refute your counter-argument. Again, you're not just coming up with hypotheticals. You're not trying to dredge up objective experience. You're using evidence that they give you in the sources to complete this task. Now, what you can do to get ready is, for one of your prompts, scan the sources. Again, by scan, I mean skim with a purpose in mind. So have your claim in mind as you look at the sources. That's going to help you determine which sources are going to be better or which sources are going to be less helpful. Read at least 3 sources in detail and annotate for their purpose and for important evidence that you're going to be able to use to support or provide a counterargument to your claim. And as with an argument essay, brainstorm a claim, evidence, counterargument, and refutation. Now tomorrow we're going to talk about what to do with your sources in more detail, but doing this is going to get you ready to brainstorm and come up with ideas to write about for the synthesis essay. Thanks so much.